and the ancestors are looking out for us. God Hayes is exposing them, man.
Okay, you see that chair right there? See how big it is?
Yeah.
Now look at the Pope chair under it. Scroll down, look at the Pope chair under
Never have it been made so clear.
Young TV. Young.
We running the game right now.
Young TV.
Time to take over.
Young.
We the hottest in the game. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button. If you just not tuned in.
TV.
Share, like on your Instagram, Facebook.
Young TV.
If you tuned in, we broadcasting live from 2030, baby.
Young TV. Young.
Taking over the game, baby. Oh yeah.
Young TV.
Hit that like.
Young TV.
Get them likes up in the air, you heard me?
Young TV.
Ride by. Hotel Islam.
Young TV.
Assalamu alaikum. Flown letter.
Young TV.
We back live. This is Chiefing with the Chief, open Q&A. Give people a chance to get in, and then we're gonna start trying to get some callers in here to ask some questions. So we got 79. When we get to 100 people, then if you want to come up, flip me a thumbs up. 92, 4, 97, 99, 97, 100. So flip a thumbs up and we'll start this off. Yep. The first one. Cash Swahili, you next. Cat Dragon, I invited you. I'll give you a couple more seconds to come in, then I'm gonna go take in Cash Swahili. Come on, Kesha.
How you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing. It's still black to me. I can see you, but it's all right. So the question I want to ask, you had stated that those who look like us, that are not us, the hidden hand, they possibly came from two places. One of you said is outer space. Can you elaborate on that for me if you have any more information on that?
Well, it's deductive reasoning. If they're not from Earth, then there's two places they could come from: a laboratory or space. That's what I was talking about earlier. And the reason I was saying that is because in the Bible, Yahweh is telling the so-called Israelites that he's going to give them something called a promised land. All of the land is divided up among the 12 daughters of Isis, which made up the original 12 earth tribes. So wherever they're from, laboratory or outer space, I'm indifferent to. I'm only concerned with the reality that they don't belong here. Right? And I was using that to express that if they don't belong here, right, why the hell are they here?
Right.
So we
Okay.
gotta get rid of them. So that's the context that I was using those 2 points of reference. To add to that, where the outer space theology comes from, traces back to the Anunnaki and the Sumerian tablets and what they call the divine right of kings.
Okay.
Okay, so the divine right of kings said that you cannot rule in the Anunnaki kingdom unless you have Anunnaki blood. So this is the pretext by which they claim extraterrestrial involvement in the development of human affairs.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Did I answer? Did I answer?
You gave me more information. And again, forgive me if my comprehension at the moment is kind of like, I'm trying to figure out, is it the physical side of things or is it the spiritual side of things? Because we're physical vessels, but we are much more than that. And I'm trying to figure out which, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. So from the physical side, we just discussed. In order to discuss it spiritually, we now change all of those nouns into energies.
And that's what I want to get into.
And we read it as a signature of energy, which will deliver more information to the subconscious than if you only read it as the nouns.
Okay.
So we got to remember, everything has a numerical value. Now we're talking gematria, numerology. Everything has a color code. We're talking color psychology.
Okay.
Right? Everything has a frequency. Now we talking electromagnetism. And a vibration. Now we talking frequency again. Right? So when you look at and you use all of these different tools to translate the 3D reality to see what the spiritual world is telling you in the physical world.
Yes.
Right. So
yes, sir.
You use it as mirrors to each other. So on the physical side, you got the person, place, or thing. On the spiritual side, you got the number, you got the frequency, and you have the vibration. Then the law of hermetics say know that all things are vibrations. Each is an extension of itself. Right? Also in the Hermetic philosophy, it says there is a law called the law of polarity. That's 2 points by which a frequency oscillates. Right? In physics, there's something called the law of entropy, which if there is a thing that is sending out a frequency, it dissipates as it loses energy. It's called entropy.
Okay.
In music, the sound, as it gets further away from the source, begins to go silent because of entropy, which in sound is dissipation.
Space. Okay.
Right. So my flux flow capacity is nothing short of mastery. That's why these rotten bastards be endlessly after me, hoping tragedy capture me or eating off to destiny. But the rest of these baby G's are hoping I awaken these other seeds.
That's right. I know that's right. Thank you so much, Uncle. I appreciate you.
You're welcome. Did I answer you good enough? Was you able to put
yes, sir.
your perspective to what you was asking? Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
All right, sweetie. And we'll take another caller.
Right. Thanks. Love you.
Okay. Love you too, sweetie. Okay. There we go. Come on, Mike. I like it when the OGs come up. We be chopping it up like we've been knowing each other for 100 years. Michael Phoenix.
What's
Where
good?
you at? There you go. What's up, G?
What's up, man?
You got it.
Yeah. You good, man? Yep. Hey, yeah, I had a question for you, man. With all these people jumping over the border, you know what I'm saying? They are military age. You know, only thing they need is a green card and be able to speak English, and they can join the military. Do you think our people, you know, the young guys need to be in the military? Just, you know, so, because like in 5 years, these foreigners, they're high
Look,
rank and they'll be the ones in
in
charge.
5 years, in 5 years, this is gonna be an entirely different looking land.
Right.
Let me tell you this. Pay attention. When we get done taking our shit back, we're gonna all be rich. My
Right.
question is, who gonna work?
Right. Right.
What we gonna do about the labor pool? Right.
Yep. Yep.
So I'm not too much concerned with them people crossing the border because Big Mama here and nature's gonna call people from all parts of the world to this land.
Right.
So it doesn't surprise me and it don't faze me. Because if I look at it from the worst case scenario, they just gonna be feeding them motherfuckers to the Bloods, the Crips, the Vice Lords, the GDs. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because
They ain't got no.
we ain't really worried about that.
Right. Right.
That's the scare tactics used by the political establishment to make us think that the enemy is at the door when all the time the enemy is laid up in Big Mama house watching TV with his feet up in her bedroom like he belonged there.
Right. Right.
And they telling us the enemy is at the gate. No, he ain't at the gate. He in the house.
Right.
Pretending to be one of us.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah, that was just, you know, a thought, man, because, you know, like I say, we always gonna have warriors in the streets. You know what I'm saying? So,
Look, when they brought the Mongolians over here, they had a similar culture to some of the tribes. And they was using them in negotiations. This is why they was using presidential decree to make Mongolians chiefs.
right.
You can't make that's not how chiefs is made from the land.
Right.
Anyway, when they came to negotiate on behalf of the Dirty Moors, they looked at our culture so similar to ours, and this is when we start saying pale-face speak with forked tongue. The establishment make you think this, they say that they lying. That's not what it means.
Right.
They speak for themselves and they speak for somebody else.
Right. They double talking basically.
Yeah. When they spoke to us after the peace pipe, right? You can't lie to us and smoke the peace pipe. This is why it was part of the tradition and the custom.
Right.
And when they tell the story, they have to tell us who sent them and what they want. And then they got to find out, well, since you came, what do you want?
Right.
They got two different agendas. The Mongolians, and you will see them now as the $5 Indians that's always talking about us, the ones that look like us.
Right.
Right. They are aware and they supported us against the colonizers who brought them here. And they the ones right now that look like Mongolians, but talking about the nappy-haired, brown-skinned Mississippians that was already here.
Right.
right? And the ones who took sides with the colonizer, you know them because they filthy rich.
Mm-hmm.
They all own casinos,
Yeah.
right? And if you trace back the origin of gambling, you end up in Babylon under the money magic system. The rule to gambling is the house never lose.
Right.
None of the parishioners or none of the customers are allowed to cheat, but that don't apply to the house.
Right. Yeah.
All of the slot machines is coded to tell them how much money to collect before they pay out a dime.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right? And they never allowed to pay out more than they took in.
Right.
Right? So the house never loses. This is the Babylonian money magic gambling secret.
Right.
Now, my Uncle Vern, used to run a gambling house, and there's another way for the house to always win. They call it taking a cut. When the house take a cut, they ensure that neither side will have an unfair advantage at that point. You're going to play according to how the cards fall or how the dice roll.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I get a cut, because at my establishment, I enforce this rule.
Right.
This is why they crush local gamblers like my uncle from doing it, and then they allow big corporations to build casinos and allow them to do it with permission. Right. Remember, a license is the approval to do something that's otherwise illegal.
Right, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Why do we need a license to drive then?
Right.
Why do we need a builder's license to build? Because, look, we in a police state.
Right.
And the police is the occupying force, extension arms throughout all of our communities. The headquarters is the military-industrial complex that finally gained control under Dwight D. Eisenhower in a forced contract. We don't have to honor the contract for two reasons. One is fraud, and two is duress. You forced this man into signing this contract, and it put all of us in peril. Therefore, we don't have to honor it.
Right.
Right. So when you're looking at why in the 70s all of the activist groups was robbing banks, but you got to go back to when the settlers came and they generated bank robbers called outlaws. Right. But who banks was these motherfuckers robbing? Because wasn't no central bank back then.
They was stealing from Big Mama.
Yeah. Yeah. So the Big Mama banks forced to shut down, and now they can start what they call FDIC insured banks through the central banking system.
Right.
Now Big Mama had to close her vault. We in a warlock. For the people that be wanting to know how the desettling of the banking system to instill a central bank is done, it's a book called The Confessions of an Economic Hitman who worked for the International Monetary Fund. Right? This is where you can see how they was trying to destabilize the colony. The reason they got coinage with the Indian lady and the eagle on it, or the chief and the buffalo on it, is because those were tribal coins. Mm-hmm. The tribes knew if the money was funny money or if the money was legit money by whose picture was on the money. Mm-hmm. Who picture on your money? Not right now.
They got the presidents, the dead presidents on there.
Yeah. And the question is, why put a dead president face on your currency?
Mm.
The currency is the current that you see.
Right.
If you don't know how the energy moves through the community, you can't successfully trap dollars. Therefore, you can't bank on nothing.
Mm.
And on both sides of the currency, or the current that you see, is a riverbank.
Mm.
So you following the flow of the energy, and you monitoring it by how the people use the currency. And if you look between two banks in any direction, you're going to find stores most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you leave the bank, you got to get shit.
Got it, yeah. Right.
So I'm going to stop at this store, and this store. Now, they got us really tricked with this thing called ATMs. Because now, half of the stores got a bank in them.
Mm-hmm.
All of the banks to a certain perimeter around the bank is the jurisdictional territory of the banker. Well, we call it bank security.
Mm.
If you go in the bank and you start raising hell, the manager gonna come out, and who he bringing with him? Security. Right? And security will bust a cap in your ass about this currency. So whose life is worth fiat?
Mm.
A dead president.
Yeah. Right.
Why? Because he already dead.
Mm-hmm.
He has no current intrinsic value. So the only way for him to hold value is to put his face where it can continuously be seen and recognized. Now you can use the face to influence the flow of the currency.
Mm-hmm. That's deep.
It's all a psychological manipulatory tactic.
Right.
Right? They got us, because remember, we was never the consumer. We was always the producers of the world.
Right.
Then all of a sudden, now we are consumers. What happened? Central banking.
Right. Yep.
The Federal Reserve Act, the Buck Act, right? The Internal Revenue Act, the Social Security Act.
Mm-hmm.
All these is acts, but nobody know what an act is.
Right.
It's a part in the play, a scene. So now they passing acts, which mean they approving a script.
Right.
Right.
Now we the players, and
yeah. And none of us know we playing in the charade.
Mm-hmm.
Now check this out. In the game of charades, how is it played?
With the person not
acting out
something without saying it. Right.
Right. And then you got to figure out what
he's actually
message is by the movement signs that the person playing charades is giving you.
Right.
Right. But they can't say nothing. That's the Fifth Amendment.
Mm-hmm.
Right. What are they amending? What is an amendment?
The amendment is when they damn, I can't even think of it. Like,
so if you forget to write something in your term paper at school, your teachers, your professors say you can amend it by adding 2 more pages to the end. Just type it on.
Right.
Right.
Yep.
So what did they tag it on to?
They tagged it on.
Constitution, right?
Yeah.
And what's the Constitution? The
Constitution.
Constitution of a thing tells us the layout of how a thing is supposed to work.
Right.
An instructional manual. In this case, is for allowing the operational government to operate. If you don't know how you're supposed to operate, how are you going to function?
Right.
Now, how do you keep the average Joe from understanding what the Constitution is?
Trickery.
You write it in legalese,
Right.
a dead language to match your dead president. And they use in legalese because the commoner is not taught legalese. Because that jurisdictional authority goes to the Barristers Association, which is the barristers of England, which are the royal family members, and their royal rank is called honorables and esquires. And they work for the lords.
Right.
The lords are the ones who govern over the land. In wartime, you under admiralty jurisdiction after an invasion in which you come from the water. In order to overtake the land and to assert the jurisdiction of the admiralty, you have to stake flags throughout the land. Right?
Right.
What do they do at the crime scene? Don't they put numbers on the ground and little cones and right?
Right. Yep.
The salvage expedition, right? How do we come to that? Because they are using salvage right law in place of the law of the land.
Mm.
By using the salvage rights law, they can implement something called a squatter's right, right? A squatter is equivalent to a person sitting on the curb so the police know where to come.
Mm.
Right? So while they seizing, right, their booty, their spoil of war was the land that they came to take from the original inhabitants.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the original inhabitants can fight them in bloody war, or we can stave them off until the close of the age. The elders thought it was wiser to fight the Kandra War and stave them off to the close of the age than it would be to continue bloody warfare.
Well, yeah.
Which gives us our George Washington 200-year challenge.
Right.
Right? So, while you got 5 civilized tribes holding the bear, you got 5,000 tribes with eyes on the problem. Who gonna win? It looked as if the legal fiction was winning, but looks can be deceiving. Because at any given moment, one of the chiefs is going to exercise the blood and the right to restore the tribes back to their original status prior to the colonization and infiltration. Right? And when that happened, then we win, they lose, they surrender everything they stole, and they can't pay us reparations because they owe us everything. Right. Where they gonna get it from? Because once we in power, money has to have substance.
Right.
And once money got substance, then they fiat, it becomes monopoly money.
Right. It's paper. Just paper.
Yep. So you cash in from the game, you gotta go where?
You gotta go past
to the bank.
Yeah.
And the bank is the window in every casino.
Right.
And that means that every casino is under who jurisdiction? International banks. The central banking system. Everywhere there's a bank is their jurisdictional control to secure with security.
Right.
Right? And for the ones at large that they call the trustees on the plantation, the Negroes with the meritorious manumission, as long as they got their free papers.
Mm.
What's your free papers? Today they call it your driver's license, your identification card, your passport, or your social security card. Right? Them your free papers. Why none of them so-called billionaires need none of that shit?
Right.
How do they travel where they don't need none of it? Private.
Private right. Through estates.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's deep, bro. You went all the way in.
You gotta understand how it works in order for it not to work on you.
Right. True that. True that.
Because once
Yeah.
you know what the trick is and you know how the magic trick work, you ain't no longer fascinated by it.
Right. It's no longer an illusion. That's real though.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I just had that little basic question for you, man. You went all the way in, gave us a lot more. I appreciate it. You know, I just wanted to know your opinion on it because it's been up in the talks around town, people talking and concerned about it. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't worried about it.
Yeah.
Either way, they gonna either be food for us or they gonna be allies to us. So either way,
Right.
it don't matter to me.
Right. That's true. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna take another call, bro. I appreciate you coming up.
All right, man. I appreciate the talk, man.
For sure.
Yep. Peace.
Yeah.
Yep.
Panther Squad. Fuck around. Tupac pop up here, I'll be laughing like a motherfucker. Right now, you have to come on in, or I'm gonna have to find somebody else. Hey, I'm trying to invite people in, so make sure that you check if you flip me a thumbs up, because if you don't come up after a couple seconds, I'm just gonna go to the next one I see. Prestigious J.
Hey, my bad, Rod. 1 second, let me get it fixed real quick. All right, Rod, what's going on,
What's
man?
up with Chief? What's going on?
Oh, man, you know, just listening to you on this live, man. I'll be listening to you all the time, man. Be getting a lot of knowledge from you. You definitely be putting it down.
What you up? What can I help you with today?
Okay, so what's the phase going on right now, man? Because I know it's been a long, outdrawn battle with this whole process thing. I know y'all working, you know, you got people working on the back side of things. So like what can you break down like the phase of like what's happening so we can like, you know what I'm saying, overcome all the bullshit that we've been going through?
Look, we in reconstitution of government. The matriarchy is forming in our face. And that's what it is. As the sisters begin to make their links with each other and know how to allocate the resources to help the most people. Right. Once they get done doing what they had to do, we home free after that. And they working. Tribal mothers from across the land been reaching out, not just to me, because quite a few of us, but eventually it's going to come to the point where we all finally got the right mothers together that has the blood and the right. And a lot of people feel it's going to be hurt because they don't all look the same.
Yeah, I know you be talking about that a lot. You know what I'm saying? And I actually did like listen to like an audio of the book Emerald Book of Thoth, something like that, and it mentioned like the other beings that came, and they was like the negative force or whatever.
Yeah, he called them the dark brothers in there.
Yeah, so I was just not listening to that the other day, and I know you said something about that. You been talking about that, so that's nothing new.
Mm-hmm.
So what you think will happen to them people?
Hopefully they be hit with a soul splitter so they can't reconstitute. That's what I hope happens.
So,
You know? But I can't tell you because whatever they earn is what they gonna get.
yeah, from the sound of it, man, I know that they definitely did a lot of damage. You know what I'm saying? Since they been around, and basically it seemed like they've been around for a long time, damn near almost as long as we have. And you know, their only mission has been the same thing that they always been up to. You know.
So I'm gonna give you a reference. It's a Bobby Hemmett lecture, and the title was called "Spirit Artificial." It's in multiple parts.
Mm-hmm. I heard you talk about that before.
He explained in exactly what you were asking about. And he explained it so clear that once you realize that he's talking about the same thing that Thoth talking about in the Emerald Tablets, which I wrote a long time ago. But when you find out we're talking about the same thing, now you can put pieces together. You can see it clearer.
Yeah, man. That's a lot. I ain't gonna lie to you, Rod. I learned a lot. You know what I'm saying? Just listening to your lives and your Q&As. And when I first seen you come on the scene, man, I seen you were dropping a lot from the very beginning. You was with the Young Elder. You know what I'm saying? And I seen when you was with Brother Rich Neal, but I think the Young Elder, you started doing stuff with him first, right? A whole body of collective work.
Yeah, we was asked by Malachi. Well, I was asked through my chief to do a Nubian open study group, so people would see how we show each other stuff, and they wanted me to use somebody that wasn't from the city that had the country accent, because they wanted to show the inner city connection to the guy, how we communicate, right? At the same time, we exchanging information and exposing exactly what happened across the land. So that was not my genius. That was the genius of Malachi York in collaboration with Larry Hooper.
Yeah.
So
you did a lot. You did a good job breaking all that stuff down. I don't mean to cut you off, Rod. You did a great job with that.
Yeah. And so now the information trail is cleaning up the Trail of Tears, so to speak. Right.
So that's where we at. That's where we at right now, right?
Yeah,
we just with the whole processing thing, just you know, going back over history. You know what I'm saying? And rewriting the wrong that's been done to, you know, our people and everything like that, and the people around the world, because you know, I'm pretty sure it's not just us that, you know, had the effect of, you know what I'm saying, the damages that been done. So I'm pretty sure it's around the world.
Yeah, like they keep blaming all of the cyber attacks that's supposed to be coming up on China, and China was behind this, that, and the third, right? But the People's Republic of China, which was the Communist Party, has been overthrown by the Chinese, was it Chinese Republic of the People, which is the matriarchs, they wrote a new charter and everything in 2017, right? And most of us, we don't study like that to even have seen that. So we would never notice. This is a global restoration process. This is the culmination of a plan that was anti-white supremacist counterfront that was discussed at the Bangdong Conference. The Bangdong Conference was stemming from the UNIA, Marcus Garvey, making global connections for us to form what's called a collective confraternity of the earthborn, right? Because only by knowing what they telling us, we can't take their word about Africa. We have to go talk to the people of Africa that love Africa about Africa. We can't talk to the English about Africans. They're not going to tell us the truth. We can't talk to the French about Africans because they're not going to tell us the truth. We can't talk to the Portuguese, the Dutch, the Spanish about the Africans. We can't even talk to the Arabs about the Africans because none of them is going to tell us the truth. But when we go to talking to the Dinka, the Hadidawa, the Afar, the Hadesha, Zulu, they're going to tell us what the other people don't want us to know about them.
Right, going straight to the source.
Yeah. And they gonna tell us the part of the story they told about us and blame them is not true. But remember, while all of them telling us the truth, they gonna have people that look like us that's gonna fight fiercely to protect the lies, because Winston Churchill said the truth is so valuable, it must be carefully guarded by a ring of lies. I'm here to burn them down. The ring of lies is becoming a ring of fire around their ass. And the only thing illuminated in the middle is the third eye truth.
It's about time, Rod.
Yep.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I've been so sick of this shit. I mean, it's like, you know, I'm all down for, you know what I'm saying, setting the balance straight, you know what I'm saying? But I know can't do it alone. And it's like with so many people that want to be like, you know what I'm saying, like on the sidelines or want to flip on sides and stuff like that and do some dirty shit because, you know what I'm saying, that's just what they feel like doing out of cowardliness, you know what I'm saying? It just kind of makes it frustrating, man. And it's good to see that other people is on the front line, man, and, you know, it ain't got, you know what I'm saying, physical or nothing like that. So it's good to know that people got a brain and they know how to, you know what I'm saying, use their brain and do something about anything that, you know what I'm saying, stands in the way.
Yeah. So I'm just following my instructions, doing my position. You know, that's just the way it go. Like I told the sister earlier, it's just family business. It's not personal. We just take family business personal. Right.
Yes,
So we all got to be able to carry our weight in order for the family to be able to stand up as a collective unit, as opposed to warring factions.
Hey, let me ask you something, Rod. For the people that feel like they watching on the sidelines and want to do something to, you know, play their part, what is some things that, you know what I'm saying, we can do we can do that can help out the cause?
Look, I tell all of the young chiefs, first raise your status in your family by reaching out to family members you know you related to. You never had a conversation with them. You know it's your cousin. You know you live across town, but you never talk to him. And so you go introduce yourself. Yeah, man, I'm your cousin. I'm your Uncle Gerald's son. Right? Whatever the case might be. Yeah, I wanted to reach out because I know we family. and we ain't never had the chance to have a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
That conversation connects family, but with the heart link, the love key. And the more you do that, the more your family rank rise. Then they send you out to do the same in the community.
Yeah, I feel that, and I believe that's a possibility that could work for some people. Uh, it makes it a lot difficult, man, when you got people in your family that's being indoctrinated and
You
brainwashed, and they
don't care
only know
about
what
none
they
of that.
know.
Soon as you start worrying about that, you already lost. Let them be where they at. You don't want to change their man. You just want to connect
Mm-hmm.
in mutual respect. They can believe what they want to believe, just like you can believe what you want to believe. But because you family, you just reaching out with family respect. That's all, and nothing more, nothing less. They're allowed to
Okay.
believe whatever they want to believe if they're adult. It's just that sooner or later they're gonna find out that they got tricked. But it don't have to, when you trying to get to know your family members. If you're going in there trying to preach to them about anything, that they're not gonna be receptive. But if you
Yeah.
just open your arms and they open theirs and y'all hug each other and y'all ain't got to say a word, sit in the room together for 5 minutes. But the whole point being is you just acknowledging the link by family. This is how you,
Okay. So my bad. Go ahead, Rod.
this is how you building them connections, right? You need a car, you got an uncle that's a car dealer, but because he believe in the church and you believe in the mosque, you can't call him and talk to him about a car because y'all got a difference of religious belief. That's foolish to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we are quick to take up other people's fight against our own family. That's not my fight. I didn't write none of their doctrines that they believe in, so I'm not responsible for them. If I want to be responsible for me, then I just let them know, look, whenever you need me, if my set of skills can help you, I'm here.
Yeah. Okay. So after making those connections with like families or whatever like that, uh, I mean, what's the? I guess it seemed like you just saying like come together and use what each individual is good at to. I guess you have to create some kind of idea first, you know what I'm saying, and use the people around you that you know what I'm saying is qualified to do certain things to
Yeah,
make it happen.
so at that point, this is when you're ready for your tribe to build this village. But you ain't there yet. You trying to put the cart in front of the horse. You want the end game before the game start, right? It's a process. By building up the family connections, you get to learn who's good at what anyway. So when it do come time for y'all to do like the Autobots and form into a Megabot, you already know what to do, which gonna make you have to automatically be the leader. Whether you want to be or not, your qualifications for the function make you responsible to hold the job according to the ancestors. It say he who knows must lead the way.
Okay, so I'm assuming once all of that is established with people and the people that they around that's like a fraternity or like a family, right? Um, and when it's all said and done, with this whole process of what you got going on with the the mothers and sisters and whatnot and the brothers and all that for the I don't want to say reconstruction, but like the putting everything back to how it once was worldly, right? At one point, talk about the matriarch, so bringing back the matriarch and all that, and bringing back the restored balance of mankind, humankind. I guess everything within the family is already be established already at that point. So it'll probably make like a fast adjustment to the new changes that would come about. Is
It's
that the
gonna be
game plan?
everything gonna take place naturally. If you just do the parts you know how to do, you don't worry about the parts that's not in your sight. Somebody else gonna be doing them parts. It's just when it's time for you to bring your part of the pie to the table, you just got to be willing to do it. But you do what you already know is right, and that's going to elevate you to the position where you can know how to use your skills best. Write your own resume. Everything you know how to do, no matter how small it is, if you can remember it, write it. And when that happens, guess what? You know what you're training for because that's your job description in your life.
Yeah, man, Rod, I really appreciate it, man. It's been an honor speaking with you, man. I've been watching you for some months, man. Like for a while now. You know what I'm saying? More than a month, some months, but you know what I'm saying? I've been watching for for at least a year, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Or close to it. So like I say, man, you doing a great job. I know if people take the time out to listen to you and really pay attention to your message, man, it's out there, man, and you definitely got a lot that you put out. And I learn every day. Whenever you drop new stuff or come on live, man, I'm always here, man. I'm
All
tuning
right.
in.
I appreciate you, brother.
Yes, sir. All right then, brother Rod. Take care now.
All right. I'll catch you later. Dr. Nolly Carbon.